Hello everyone, welcome back. So we are continuing with the videos for the question discussion for RBI Grade B Officers Examination Phase 2, and here we are discussing question number 81, right? So let me read out the question for you. Which of the following is not among the goals of social and economic dimensions of Agenda 21? We have already discussed about Agenda 21 in the previous video, so do please refer to that. The options we have here is combating poverty, especially in developing countries. Number 2, changing consumption patterns. Number 3, promoting health. Number 4, protecting fragile environments. Number 5, achieving a more sustainable population. If you come to the answer to this, which we already discussed in the previous video, so the correct answer to this is number 4, which is protecting fragile environments. Now, why is this being so? Agenda 21, which talks about the 21st century agendas, the United Nations, the economic and social and economic dimensions was directed towards combating the poverty, especially in developing countries. And it was also related to changing consumption patterns, promoting health, achieving a more sustainable population, and sustainable settlement in decision making. Conservation and management of resources for development included atmospheric protection, combating deforestation, protecting the fragile environments, which are very fragile actually. Then conservations of biological diversity, or which we term that as biodiversity, controlling of pollution, and the management of biotechnology and also radioactive waste. So these were the agendas related to it. So accordingly, we have chosen option number 4 to be the correct answer, that is protecting fragile environments. Moving on to question number 82. Okay, moving on to the next question, that is question number 82. Which of the following is not one of the means for the implementation of Agenda 21? Science, technology transfer, media and television, education, and international institutions. So for this, technology transfer is the correct answer. That is option number 2. Means technology transfer, yes, but if we have media and television, then we'll be choosing media and television, because technology was still related to the environmental fragile protection, but we will choose this as option number 3, that is media and television. Now media and television or media implementation, which included science, technology transfer, education, and international institutions and financial mechanisms as well. So this was not one of the means for implementation of agenda. Okay, the rest were all of the implementations. Next, moving on to question number 83. 83. The 193 member states of the United Nations on 23rd September 2015 adopted UN Sustainable Development Goals to eradicate poverty by 2020, 2025, 2030, 2036, and 2042. So this is a very common question which you usually get. So in this, the correct answer to question number 83 is option number 3, which is 2030. The United Nations on 25th of September 2015, or to particularly say this was determined on 23rd of September 2015, agreed to an ambitious agenda that featured 17 new sustainable development goals that aimed to end poverty, promote prosperity, and also people's well-being while protecting the environment by the year 2030. The implementation of these goals was expected to cost around $3.5 trillion to an approximate of $5 trillion every year until the year 2030. So the correct answer to this is 2030. So I'll mark this as 2030. Moving on to the next question, 84. Which of the following statement is or are correct regarding transforming our world, the 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development? A new framework that was adopted by the United Nations in September 2015. It is composed of 30 goals and 169 targets. It aims to wipe out poverty, fight inequality, and tackle climate change over the next 15 years. It aims to build on the work of the historic Millennium Development Goals, which is the MDGs. And we have the correct codes given here, that is both A and B, only B, both B and C, only A, both A and C. So coming to the discussion of this, I consider option number B and C to be the correct one. So let's have a detailed discussion for this answer. The document that titled Transforming Our World, the 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development, not only outlines 17 broad goals, but also sets 169 specific targets. The non-binding goal succeeds the 8 Millennium Developmental Goals adopted by world leaders by 15 years ago. 15 years ago. So accordingly, we have B and C to be the correct answers because this was number one, which was not 30 goals, it was just 17 goals. So we have B and C to be correct, which is option number 3. So option number 3, let's mark that as the correct answer, which is both B and C. Next, moving on to question number 85. Which of the following is or the Sustainable Development Goals adopted by the United Nations on 25th September 2015? End poverty in all its forms, everywhere. End hunger, achieve food security, and improve nutrition and promote sustainable agriculture. Ensure healthy lives and promote well-being for all at all ages. Ensure inclusive and equitable equality education and promote lifelong learning opportunities for all. And number 5 is all of the above. So the correct answer to this will be all of the above. Why? Because transforming our world, the 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development. This outlines 17 sustainable goal developments that I already discussed. Let's talk about each and one goal separately. Only then I think you will be able to understand which are the goals we are talking about. So goal 1, it was end poverty in all its forms everywhere. Goal 2, end hunger, achieve food security and improve nutrition and promote sustainable agriculture. Goal 3, ensure healthy lives and promote well-being for all at all stages. Goal 4, ensure inclusive and equitable quality education and promote lifelong learning opportunities for all. Goal 5, achieve gender equality and empower all women and girls. Goal 6, ensure availability and sustainable management of water and sanitation for all. Goal 7, ensure access to affordable, reliable, sustainable, and modern energy for all. Goal 8, promote sustained, inclusive, and sustainable economic growth, full and productive employment, and decent work for all. Goal 9, build resilient infrastructure, promote inclusive and sustainable industrialization, and foster innovation. Goal 10, reduce inequality within and among countries. Goal 11, make cities and human settlements inclusive, safe, resilient, and sustainable. Goal 12, ensure settlement consumption and production patterns. Goal 13, take urgent action to combat climatic changes and its impacts. Goal 14, conserve and sustainably use the ocean, seas, and marine resources for sustainable development. Goal 15, protect, restore, and also promote sustainable use of terrestrial ecosystem, sustainably manage forests, combat desertification, and halt and reverse land degradation and halt biodiversity loss. Goal 16, promote peaceful and inclusive societies for sustainable development, provide access to justice for all, and build effective, accountable, and inclusive institutions at all levels. Goal 17, strengthen the means of implementation and revitalize the global partnership for sustainable development. So these were the 17 goals that we have that was decided, and therefore you can understand from all the goals that I have discussed right now, the answer number A, 1, 2, 3, and 4. All the four are included there in the goal 17. So answer to this question will be answer number 5. That is all of the above. If you have any other options here, which is different from this, you can refer to the goal 17 goals that I have discussed right now. So then if you have all the 17 goals, sir, then you won't have any problem in discussing this type of question. Moving on to question number 86. Which of the following statements regarding greenhouse gas emissions and climatic change is or are correct? A. Climate change is a global positive externality. The incremental impact of a action of GHG on climate change is dependent of where in the world it is emitted. The largest share of historical and current global emissions of GHGs has originated in developed countries. And now you have to select the correct codes for it. That's a combination. Only C, both A and B, only A, both only E, both B and C, and only B. So we have a series of combinations. So the correct answer will be option A is definitely not correct, since the industrial revolution, man-made activities have added significant quantities of greenhouse gases, which is the GHGs, into the atmosphere. Climate change is a globally negative externality, which is primarily caused by the building up of greenhouse gas emissions in the atmosphere. So accordingly, B and C is the correct option, which is option number 4. Both B and C. That is incremental impact of the of a ton of greenhouse gas emissions of on climatic change is dependent of where in the world it is emitted, and the largest share of historical and the current global emissions of GHGs has originated in developed countries. So we choose as B and C to be correct, which is number 4, both B and C. Next, moving on to question number 87. Which 5-year plan of India for the first time accorded prominent focus to sustainable development? 8th plan, 9th plan, 10th plan, 11th plan, or 12th plan? The correct answer is 12th plan. If you have a clear objective of the 12th plan, which was the first, which was a 5-year plan for India, this explicit theme of the 12th 5-year plan was a faster and more inclusive and sustainable growth process. It was for the first time that a 5-year plan had included sustainability as an objective to it and with prominent focus to it. So the 12th plan for this outlined lower carbon growth strategies, adding momentum to the ongoing pollution or whatever things are happening inside. To add on to this, the state action plans on the climate change, that is the SAPCC, a recent initiative, tuned national initiatives on a national action plan basis on climatic change, that is the NAPCC, to regional, social, economic, and ecological actions. So therefore, our answer to question number 87 is option number 5, which is the 12th plan. So we will choose this as option number 5. Next, moving on to question number 88. According to the State of the Environment report by the Ministry of Environment and Forest, the key challenges faced by India does not include number 1, climate change, number 2, food security, number 3, demographic explosion, number 4, water security, and number 5, managing urbanization. So the answer to this will be demographic explosion, right? So we all are accustomed to this. In the past 2 decades, the key environment challenges that India have been sharper at. The State of the Environment report for the MOEF clubs the issues under the 5 key challenging areas faced by India, that is climate change, food security, water security, energy security, and managing urbanization. The demographic explosion is not a factor or not a element included in that. Next, moving on to question number 89. India has voluntarily agreed to reduce its emission intensity of its GDP by 20 to 25% over 2005 levels by 2018, 2020, 2022, 2025, and 2027. So according to this, if we come to the correct answer, it will be option number 2, that is 2020, by 2020. Concerned by the threats imposed by climate change and pressures on natural resources, sustainability and environmental problems that are increasing day by day, taking the center stage in the Indian policy domain, India has been a part of 94 multilateral environmental agreements. India, not only that, it has also voluntarily agreed to reduce its emission intensity of its GDP by 20 to 25% over 2005 levels by 2020. And emissions from the agriculture sector would not form part of the assessment of its emission intensity. So the correct answer to this is option number 2, which is by 2020. So we'll mark this and move on to the next question. Next, moving on to question number 90. Which have been the most significant outcomes of the 20 summit from Indian viewpoint? Restoration of the priority principles of equity, restoring of the principles of equity, restoring the common but differentiated responsibility, that is the CBDR, in the global environmental disclosure, placing poverty eradication at the center of the global development agenda, both 1 and 2, and all of the above. So all of the above is the correct answer to this. Why? Because the most significant outcome of the Rio summit, that is the Rio summit of that has been very famously discussed, have been the restoration of the principles of equity and of common but differentiated responsibilities, which is the CBDR mentioned in the objectives, and in the global environmental discourse, and placing poverty eradication at the center of the global development agenda. Also, the outcome also ensures the required domestic policy space to various countries on a green economy, and launched 4 processes. Okay, 4 processes mechanisms, that is developing SDGs, financing strategy, technology transfer, and defining the format and organizational aspects of the proposed high-level political forum to follow up on the implementation of sustainable development. So the correct answer to question number 90 is option number 5, that is all of the above. So with this, I will be concluding this video, which is up till question number 9. In the next video, we will be continuing from the next set of questions. Hope you have understood and have liked the video. Stay tuned and keep watching the other videos. Thank you.